Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Retire with Casey. This week I've been thinking, actually the past 2 weeks, um, thinking about how many wake-up calls do we really need before we make some, what I would consider really simple, not easy, but simple changes in our lives to make it more fulfilling. Um, so not this past week, but the week before, I had COVID for the first time, so I was kind of down on my butt for a while. And then, of course, last Friday, um, even here in Southern Ohio, we had about 5 or 6 inches of rain from Hurricane Helene. And it did have an effect on Southern Ohio. There are a lot of people without power and disrupted lives and that kind of thing. But just a little further south, about 5 or 6 hours away from here, Western North Carolina, you saw, I'm sure everybody's seen the devastation that's happened down there. And man, when you see the videos, when I saw the videos, I saw, the obvious destruction and that kind of thing. But beyond what you see visually, it's kind of like you're witnessing the destruction of somebody's life, not just their life, but like their immediate life, but like their life going back, in a lot of cases, decades. All the things they worked so hard for, to build, to buy, to create the life that they lived. And then in really what amounts to just one day, it's all gone. And I know, just from watching a lot of news reports and listening to stories, so many of those people either didn't have insurance to cover their loss. Which, what does that mean, to cover their loss? I mean, for sure, maybe to rebuild their house, but their possessions, like, how important were those possessions in that situation? I would venture to say that for most of the people down there, not important at all. The only thing that mattered in that situation was their health. Their safety and their health were the only things that mattered, and not just them, but of course their family as well. So it just makes you think, like, all the time that not just those people, but tracking all the way down to Florida. And this is just one storm. Every year we're bombarded with storm after storm, wildfires, tornadoes, et cetera, et cetera. Accidents, health issues. What you really realize is that in just a really short period of time, that everything you've spent your entire life working for, all the possessions, honestly, what did the possessions do? I think in a lot of cases, I'm speaking for myself here, that really, spending your life working and buying things, harvesting all these possessions, or building up all these possessions we have in our lives, do they really do more than just simply provide justification for all the time you spent working? Providing some temporary satisfaction to justify, hey, this is why I'm going to work, this is why I do it. Provide you a little bit of comfort, for a day, a week, a month, a year, whatever. And then eventually those possessions get pushed aside, and then we seek out more possessions. And then, in these cases, they can be wiped away in virtually no time at all. So at that point, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to, put your nose to the grindstone again and go back and continue to work to get all of that stuff back, or to replace all that stuff with more stuff? Or, is it, a wake-up call to realize that, hey, this stuff was never really important in the first place, because the only thing that those people wanted to do in that moment was to be safe and to survive. And they wish the same things for their friends and their family, their loved ones. That was the only thing that matters. But what do? We, on the outside, I said, like, Southern Ohio was affected to a small degree, nothing like what they have. But we're able to witness, the devastation in real time, as it's happening. We're able to witness the aftermath. We hear all the stories about the devastation. Well, what are we going to do? Well, myself included, we're going to continue to get up every day and go to work day after day, week after week, month after month, and, continue the cycle. And again, like, I'm just as guilty as anyone, because right now, even though retirement is just, potentially 3 months away, at the most, about 8 months away, but I'm continuing to do the same thing. We see this play out in real time. It's a really simple adjustment to make in our life, to say, okay, stop. I'm done with spending so much time working just to buy possessions when they don't really matter and they can be taken away in a heartbeat, but yet we continue to do it. I don't know. I mean, can we blame it on the commercials that we see, we're bombarded with, from the time we're very, very young? Or does it somehow go much deeper than that? I really don't know. So even though, like I mentioned, I'm witnessing this, and I know I'm going to retire soon. And the reason I'm retiring is because I want more of my time. I want to own my time. I'm kind of tired of giving it away. I don't hate my job. It's not the reason I'm retiring. It's just that, I want to kind of squeeze and extract every moment of time I can from the rest of my life. But yet, I still find myself thinking about things that I could buy to make my life better. Put that in air quotes, to make my life better or more meaningful. And I have everything I need. Man, I have more than that. Way, way more than what I need. Think about, how cool it would be to have a bigger, newer, nicer van that I could travel in and camp in, when I already have a van that, serves that purpose. Think, well, maybe I could buy a truck with a camper and really, really, enjoy camping better. But do I need it? I think about, well, I love riding motorcycles. Maybe I should buy me a new motorcycle before I retire. That way, I'm guaranteed to enjoy my retirement, my time more, because I could have these new things. And I know, absolutely positively know, that none of those things are going to add any true meaning to my life. They're not going to make my life suddenly happier. They're not going to make my retirement better somehow. Absolutely positively know this. But yet I still think about, spending money, which is really nothing more than trading time to get that money to buy those things. Man, it's a hard cycle to break. I don't know. Like, is it truly just the corporate commercials that we've been bombarded with, the pressure that we see other people have these things, and it makes us want them? It's really, really difficult. The absolute best investment of our time and our money is just simply making memories. If you make memories, man, like things you want to do, people you want to spend time with, if you can make memories in those categories, well, you get to relive those anytime you want to. Anytime you retell the story of, taking a trip with a person that is really important in your life, man, you'll never forget that. Can't be taken away from you. Like a storm can't take it away. If you get a really bad, prognosis from a doctor's visit, you still got those memories. Like, it's the one thing that cannot be taken away from you. But yet we know this, but yet we easily dismiss it, thinking, well, if I could just buy this thing, it would maybe make my life a little bit better. And we know it won't. This past summer, my girlfriend and I, we took a trip out west, out to Utah, Colorado, did some camping, stayed in some historic hotels, and we talk about it all the time still, how cool it was. And the memory that we both liked the best was we drove out to Canyonlands National Park, but we went to the Southern District, and we drove for hours out into the desert, and we found a spot where we could camp for the night. And man, just a incredibly magical moment. Made an incredible memory. And we think about it all the time. And both of us say that that was the best part of the trip. This massive rock formations, and we got there in time to enjoy one of the most peaceful evenings you could ever have. Surrounded by nature and this beautiful desert landscape, and watch the sun go down, and then you watch the stars rise. And it did not, like, it having a bigger, nicer van would not have enhanced that memory at all. Would not have changed it one single bit. It's easy to, if you break things down into the simplest form, it really just comes down to living a really simple life where you extract the meaning from it, not inject meaning with possessions and things that you've worked so hard to buy. Anyway, this is something I'm continuing to battle with, as I'm nearing retirement. I'm wondering, like, for people that have already retired, if you're able to, maybe because you're on a more fixed income, if you're able to push these things out of your mind, like, okay, it's like, I know I'm not working anymore. I don't have a bunch of extra money. So, continuing to buy things that I think are going to make my life better are completely off the table. I hope so. I really, really hope so. I don't know what it's going to take because, again, like I mentioned, deep down, you absolutely positively know that spending all this time just to buy possessions are not going to add value to your life. In the end, they're absolutely not going to add value to life. If anything, I would argue potentially that they detract or take away value from your life because, when you buy some complex, expensive things, then you have to worry about, possibly damaging that thing, losing that thing. So you have to insure that thing. You have to maintain that thing. So it provides a lot of stress and worry just to have these possessions. I'm still battling that as I'm approaching the end of my career. I'll tell you what else I've done is, like, I've even already thought about, working part-time to make sure I can afford some of these things. And that's 100% what I don't want to do. When I retire, I don't want to have to follow a schedule and work for somebody else just to continue to have things. So anyway, this week was the past couple weeks anyway, with COVID putting me on my butt. I know that could have been, it was bad. I felt really terrible, but it could have been much, much worse. We all know that. You see the devastation from the natural disasters, the storms. Like, just what does it take before you finally wake up and realize that, hey, none of that stuff is important, man. It's just truly not important. There's only a few things that really, really matter in life, and working to make money to buy possessions clearly is not one of them. Although we make it one of them. We try to justify it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Again, if you got anything out of this, hit the like button. Consider subscribing. My name's Casey, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.